tradition like no other. The number is 5. A legacy for the ages. A team on top. Welcome back to Squeeze the Juice, episode 26. The UConn Huskies are national champions.
How about them Huskies, baby? How about them? I got the Husky hat on, plus 2,400 banger. That is an absolute banger of a play. UConn was my team. Legacy bracket, legacy pick.
This man.
I'm on top of the world right now. College basketball has been brutal to me, but it doesn't matter because when you hit plus 2,400, all your sins are washed clean. I am now rejoicing amongst the heavens.
A week before Easter, this guy.
It is UConn all day long. What a tournament. They covered the spread in every single game. They were an absolute wagon. And
It's insane.
it just, double-digit wins every single game, just felt easy for them. And that team, I saw something in them before the tournament. Because when you're picking your champion, you look at stats, you look at everything else, but you also got to watch the games. And I saw enough of UConn over the course of the season to know they got dogs. Jordan Hawkins, Tristan Newton, Sonogo, they're deep, Klingon, Calcaterra, Caravan. They got guys everywhere, and it's like if they put it all together for 6 games, no one's beating them. They're the best team.
Book it.
They were phenomenal. And San Diego State, they cut it to 5 points at one point in the second half. It was late in the second half, I believe, with just over 6 minutes to go. And then UConn just, 16-4 run to end the game. They win by 17. It's unreal what this team was able to accomplish this season. And I could not be happier. I cannot be more proud of the guys, honestly, because UConn basketball is just awesome. There's something about UConn basketball. It's awesome. And I'm thrilled that they won, obviously, for monetary purposes. But as a program, they're a blue blood, and they made it known. That's now 5 in 25 years. That is insanity. So shout out Husky Nation. I love you, Husky Nation. Husky hat is for you. I am now a big time Husky guy. I was before, but
Bigger than ever now.
It's sealed. It's signed, sealed, delivered. Husky Nation for life.
I don't know how you can hate on the Huskies.
No, I need to get. It's Tulane, MSU, and the Huskies.
You want a husky ball so we can get like another mini stand for you?
I need something right next to my Sparty helmet, my Gruff Sparty helmet, and then the green wave. I need something next to these two guys, UConn related, and it has to be basketball because football is just, we don't even discuss UConn football. It's the basketball team.
It said. I think I can go find that mini basketball I found for my grandfather. That'd be the Husky
beautiful
ball.
That'd be
and
beautiful.
You can have that on your side.
Yes.
I'm going to go see. I'll look later and see if I can find that.
But, I mean, nothing surprising about this national championship or Final Four. We knew it was going to be UConn all the way. The only thing that was a bit shocking was that San Diego State buzzer beater.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That was crazy.
That was insane. That's what March is made for. But FAU covered that spread. We on the losing side of that bet, we were on SDSU minus 2.5, but then UConn plus 5.5, and then in the championship game, UConn minus 7.5. Both hit, and
bang, bang, bang.
UConn's the champs, man. Any big takeaways?
I think my biggest takeaway was I'm impressed with all double-digit wins. Like, that doesn't happen often.
Villanova did it when they won in 2018. But you're right. It is not something that happens a ton.
Not an easy feat.
It's not easy at all.
Especially in this season.
Think about it. I believe they were down by 1 against Iona in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And to win that game by double digits and then to just steamroll everyone else, like, I was getting texts. Are you nervous? Are you nervous? I didn't even respond. I was like, I'm not nervous. It's the first half. Let's just wait and see. They won by like 50 against Iona, and then they just kept going. Dominance. They were an absolute machine.
It was crazy, and it's one thing when we discuss the difference of a season where this isn't your typical Final Four that people would assume, but That's also the beauty of the madness.
Right.
Like if like we were listening to whatever, I don't know who you were listening to earlier, just a moment before we started, but a guy was talking about, don't you want to see the best play the best? Well, if the best are the best, they'll prove that and they'll show up when it's game time.
Exactly, and that's what UConn did. It did not matter who UConn faced; they were going to win this entire thing because they were playing at a level that no one could compete with, and you saw that because you don't win double-digit games consecutively in the NCAA tournament if you're not legit, if you're not real, if there's not something working. They did that because everything was clicking. They were the best team, and it didn't matter if they played Alabama. It didn't matter if they played Texas or Houston or anyone else. They were going to go all the way because they were the best team. And sometimes you're the best team in November, December, January. Sometimes you're maybe clicking at one time and you're not clicking at another. But when you put it together for the month of March and then that first week of April, you can change the perception of your basketball program. UConn is now, in the eyes of many, and rightfully so, a blue blood. I think when they were stuck at 4 and hadn't been relevant since that Shabazz Napier run, I don't think people were willing to give them that kind of credence and credibility. Now, you can't say anything else. UConn is a blue blood. I think there's more blue bloods than people want to acknowledge, but UConn, certainly, with 5 national championships in 25 years, yeah, you're a blue blood, and there's no debate whatsoever. You cannot say the opposite after what they've been able to accomplish in such a short period of time. They have as many national championships as some of the blue bloods that we love to acknowledge.
That's true.
I believe they have as many as Duke.
I know. I was just thinking of that. I'm like, in the past 25 years, has Duke only won 1 championship? Maybe 2?
I believe they've won 2, maybe 3. But
are you sure?
Well, they had the.
I know they've had I know they had like the Okafor, like that era, and then I know they had the Plumlee.
Yeah.
I know that's 2. I don't know.
I think it's just 2.
Yeah, maybe 2. But 5, 1 every 5 years. You're locking in 1 every 5 years. That means you're just every full rotation of classes, you're getting a ship.
Nuts. Nuts. It is crazy.
And what is that? 3 different coaches? Calhoun, Ali, and now Hurley?
Yeah. And that's even more impressive too, is it's not been one coach. It's not been a Coach K or an Izzo or a Bill Self. It went from Jim Calhoun, phenomenal, right? He won 3 national championships.
He built that program.
He built that program. Absolutely. But then you go to Kevin Ollie, who I'm not going to say that 2014 run was fluky, but it was magical, right?
Yeah.
The 7th seed, Shabazz Napier, that basically their identity was just free throw shooting. They just got to the line and they didn't miss. And then they let Kevin Ollie go after some disappointing seasons. And now Dan Hurley has built this program now to a point where I think they can be sustainable. They can be in this conversation every year. They can be considered a Final Four team every year. I love his energy. His coaching style is phenomenal. And UConn is one of those schools kind of like Michigan State in a way where I think guys will stick around, right? I don't think they're this one-and-done school like Kentucky, like Duke, like Kansas. Guys are going to stick around.
You may have 1 or 2 that may
right.
bounce,
You might have a guy or 2, like you said, but they're going to have guys that stick around, and they're going to be able to carry this for years to come. I don't think UConn basketball is just going to do what they've done in the past and just disappear for a few years. I think they're going to be right back in this conversation next year. It's impressive. I'm on top of the world. I'm so happy. And the only thing that would have made this better is if Michigan State, was in the Final Four or even in the national championship game. I would have been happy either way. Obviously I would have been bummed if MSU lost to UConn, but
or if MSU won and UConn lost after you pick UConn to run
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. Either way, I would have been happy because, even though obviously I would have wanted Michigan State to beat UConn, but either way, with that future bet on UConn, with so much invested in UConn, I was obviously thrilled to see them hoist the trophy, cut down the nets, and what a March Madness, what a tournament it was. This is one of my favorite tournaments all time, not just because UConn won, but it had everything. It had buzzer beaters. It had chaos. It had upsets unlike any other. What a tournament. What a March Madness. And now we are on to the Masters. But just any concluding final thoughts on this tournament, college basketball in general? What a season it was. Take it away.
My only comment truly is that March Madness is back. I know people will say, 21, 22, like it's been around, but it's like something about this year, man. It was the something different was in the air. It changed so fast, and the games just happened so quickly, and you just don't know what to expect. But this is one of the This will be one of the most memorable March Madnesses for the ages. Crazy Final Four, another 16/01. I mean, the run of UConn, double-digit wins. I mean,
and I know the ratings are going to be low because it didn't have the brand names, and you know what? But that I don't care, okay? Because if you watch the tournament, if you're invested in college basketball, if you love watching this tournament, you were watching the Final Four and you were watching the game last night, and you were admiring what UConn has been able to accomplish as a program and as a team this season. And you can complain about having San Diego State, who is just an ugly watch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. SCSU is an ugly watch, but you know what? They earned the right to play for the national championship game. And same goes for FAU. I know no one cares about the team from Boca Raton who play in basically a YMCA for an arena, but you know what? They earned the right to play for a Final Four and a national championship. And the same goes for Miami, who is an afterthought, right? Ugh. No one really cares about them in the ACC. It's all about Duke, UNC. Miami is just that program down the road. But you know what? They earned the right to play for a Final Four, too. And it's honestly a little bit disrespectful to say this wasn't a good Final Four. This wasn't a good, March just because you didn't have your fun
that you desired.
Iconic, recognizable teams in the Final Four. This Final Four was better than last year's Final Four. I know the championship game was obviously a bit more entertaining or competitive, and obviously you had Duke and UNC, right? I mean, that's all time. That's an all-time rivalry, but this Final Four encompassed what March Madness is about, and the team that won it all was objectively the best team in college basketball when it is all said and done. That's all I got to say on that. I just, it hurts my heart a little bit when people are just trashing the Final Four. This is what March Madness is about. It's about having these crazy stories and these crazy teams make these runs. Like, I don't know. I agree to some extent. I want to see some recognizable teams and faces and players, but at the same time, appreciate what this tournament is. And that Final Four that we got this season is exactly what it is.
It's fair.
Enough said.
A beautiful end. A beautiful end.
A beautiful end. Go Huskies, man. Go Huskies. What a season.
I'm ready for next one, but I'm ready for football first. I miss it. I think this is the first off season in a crazy long time, or maybe ever, that I'm like, I wish football was back already. I'm like the guy who's like, I enjoy it while it's here, and then I'm like, okay, what's next? But like, I miss football right now.
Just need the draft.
I know.
Just need a little injection in the veins of football. I just need the draft. I'll be okay because baseball's back, and I mean, we're in Detroit, but the Tigers, obviously, they are horrific. But there's still a lot of other stuff to talk about, a lot of other sports going on. We'll have, the NBA, NHL, and I do enjoy baseball, even though my team is terrible. I'll still enjoy the baseball season. But you're right. It's going to be a long summer, and football, the closer we get to August, that itch is going to require some more scratching.
I know. We'll have a lot more juice for next season because we'll be doing maybe some early odds,
Yes.
Because we started late this past year, but we'll have a lot more going into next season, which will be way more fun. But on to our little side quest this week. The Masters. We are very, I wouldn't say top of the notch, but decently avid golf fans.
Would I'm not top notch. I'm not watching every single tournament that goes down.
I agree.
But
Okay.
I do love golfing, as do you.
Yes.
And I do pay somewhat attention to what is going on in the golf world. I wouldn't say I'm one of the quote-unquote majors only watchers of golf. I will watch the occasional tournament where you get some of the bigger names, or just some of the tournaments that are a little bit more meaningful, like Arnold Palmer, the Players, etc. So I wouldn't call myself a casual. I'm probably like a step above that, as I'm sure you are as well. So
especially the past year,
But the Masters is one of the most iconic venues in all of American sports. Augusta National.
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. And what makes the Masters fun to bet on is it's the same course every year. So there's history. You know what the course is going to play like. And there's something about it where some golfers perform better than others because of their experience here. And so you take all that and factor it in to gambling, and it creates some really interesting, odds and bets to potentially make. So I'm really excited to talk about it. I mean, there's so much to talk about with the Masters.
I know.
And there's so much to bet on. So it's going to be exciting. And I'm glad that we are, veering off into this sector for just a week, because it really is one of the most magical times of the years when, you conclude March Madness and you go right into the Masters, which is just the best golf tournament in the world.
It's true. And it's a true kickoff to the golf season in most views for most people. It's just the big one that declares it all, and it kind of sets the tone for a lot of guys for this upcoming season. Where are you falling? How are you feeling? Especially for a guy like Tiger. How many Masters does he have left? How's he gonna feel? Because he hasn't played, I think, maybe but one tournament this year so far. He's been saving up his energy for this. Will he be okay? Will his lack of actual play, have a factor on it, or is he just gonna be ready to go? A lot of questions. But let's get into it. The Masters, our edition. So, how are we talking? We gonna go through, who based on odds, who we think is most likely to win, the top 10 finishes. I know you're talking about a hole out, who's gonna get a hole in one, which very rare, probably in this course,
Right. So I want to start with a little bit of some statistical analysis. So,
yes, sir.
Like I just said, the Masters, it's the same course every year. Everyone knows that. It's always played at Augusta. It will always be played at Augusta. There will never be a deviation from that. So it's important to know, okay, what really is Augusta like? And I don't want to geek out too much, but this is not one of those courses where you have to hit a 400 or close to a 400-yard drive, right? You don't need to be an absolute bruiser on the tee box to dominate this tournament, because it really is all about the iron play and your effectiveness on the green. So the main stat that, you really need to look at is greens in regulation, which is basically the percentage of times a player reaches the green in 2 or more strokes less than par. So basically, to put that into a layman's term, your second shot, after you hit off the tee box, your second shot, you are on the green. Or if it's a par 3, you're on the green after your first shot. Or if it's a par 5, it is the third shot that you find yourself on the green.
Unless you're trying to hit an eagle.
Right, which is even better.
Albatross.
So, if we want to look at last year's champion, Sky Scheffler, if you want to see where he matched up in terms of greens in regulation, he was, let me make sure I get this right, he was 6th in greens in regulation last year at the Masters at 68%. So, you want to find some players that are effective at getting onto the green, obviously in 2 or more strokes less than par. That's basically how you can win this tournament. And it's not a perfect science, right? last year's leader, Kevin Na, he finished 14th, but he hit his greens in regulation 70% of the time. So I don't throw a lot of numbers at you, but basically what I'm saying is this does not guarantee who is going to win the Masters, but it can be a guiding light into top 10 finishes, maybe top 5 finishes. And so what you really want to do is see, okay, you couple how golfers did last year with how they're doing this year. Right now, guess who's leading greens in regulation over the course of play this season? It's obvious. Scotty's hitting 74% of his greens in regulation. So he is absolutely dominating. That is an insane statistic.
World number 1.
He is unbelievable. So let's look at Scotty. You know, it shouldn't be surprised where he is ranked. He is obviously the favorite to win the Masters at plus 700. But right there with him is Rory McIlroy. Now everyone knows about Rory. Everyone loves Rory. I love Rory. He himself is doing not too bad with greens and regulations as well. Let me make sure I get this stat right here.
Rory on the verge of a Grand Slam. Scotty, potential back-to-back Masters champion. I forget. I think it would be the fourth back-to-back champion. It'd be the first since Tiger in 01 or 02, in 01 and 02.
I wouldn't surprise me if he pulls it off, but Rory last year, 69% of his greens in regulation at the Masters. He finished second place, had an unbelievable round 4. I believe he shot a 64. So he was kind of hovering, in the middle of the pack, and then just exploded onto the scene on the final round and got up to 7 under par to finish second place behind Scottie Scheffler, who finished 10 under. So those two are the favorites going in. The first and second fish from last year, no surprise, they are right up top this year. Is there anyone that you like right out of the gate? Like you can just pinpoint, be like, boom, I like them, because these odds are interesting, right? I mean, there are a ton of long shots, and you do have the Live Tour players coming over to play the Masters. They'll be playing with the PGA golfers for the first time since this all kind of, just kind of collided, I guess, like the two storms colliding almost. It's just kind of crazy that now they're playing at the Masters.
Nah, there's always the guys you want to look at, that are still at the top. You got John Rahm. Spieth is always wonderful at the Masters. Cam Smith is always a good guy to look at. Homa's had a really good year so far. I know it can be a controversial thing when you're looking at, if the live golfers were all back, would he still be as high as he is? But he still is playing at a really, just high level right now. I do like Xander Schauffele. I think he's got a real consistency and a real pureness to his game. My two guys I like in the area of like higher up, but like are kind of sleepers. I'd look at Sam Burns and also Jason Day. Both have been really consistent on their levels of just, reaching the green and just being overall pure ball. They're not in like middle of the pack. They're not the upper levels, but they're kind of more like, top 8 floating.
No, those are, some solid plays, right? If you look at Jason Day plus 2,800, so not, kind of a long shot, but he's relatively up there. It's not like he's a crazy long shot. And then your boy Sam Burns plus 4,100, so a little bit longer, but not, not too far back. We're not reaching the Tiger Woods territory at plus 7,000, but no, there's a lot of interesting plays here. I look at, one of my favorite golfers, and I want to give maybe like 2 or 3 potential winners because I want to, I don't think you put a couple bucks on each. Don't go crazy. It's so hard to predict a golf tournament, especially when, let's face it, Scottie Scheffler is just playing out of his mind and he'd be the easy pick. I mean, he's plus 700. Him and Rory are plus 700.
And in an often situation would be like, oh no, Rory's at -6 right now, and Scheffler's kind of hanging in there at -1. Oh no, Scotty wins 12 under, and Rory finishes
Right.
even. You know,
Right.
Like, not that no hate to Rory, but like that's those situations that happen to both of them.
Oh, I know. It's wild, but I like Colin Morikawa a lot. I do.
I do like Colin too.
He's plus 2,800, so he's right there with Jason Day. Last year, Colin Morikawa fared very well at Augusta. Got 65% of his greens in regulation. He finished 5th at 4 under. I think there's a real potential there with Morikawa. And then another guy that I like, Cam Smith. He's also plus 2,800. He is one of those live golfers.
Yep.
I believe he was the British Open champion. No, maybe was he?
Was it the Irish Open? You might be right. I don't know if it's. I don't think I said the Irish. I don't know. I said the Irish Open. I forget what it's called.
Yes. Okay. So he did win he won the British Open.
Okay.
Okay. So I was correct there. I think. Okay. Matt Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Open.
Yes.
I want to
Matt
make sure I
Fitzpatrick
got
won,
those
yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
so
that one.
Cam Smith. He won the British Open. Fantastic golfer. He moved to the Live Tour. Finished -5 last year at Augusta. And if you want to look at how he fared greens of regulation, right there with Colin Morikawa at 65%. So I like those two guys a lot. That's plus 2,800 to win. If you want to kind of give yourself better odds, well, not better odds, but I guess maybe extend your leash in terms of placement, there are finishing positions that are offered, like we kind of hinted at. Top 3, Cam Smith plus 360 to finish top 3. Colin Morikawa plus 420. Top 10, Cam Smith plus 185. And then Colin Morikawa plus 200. And then top 20, Cam Smith minus 145, while Morikawa is minus 130. So less value, obviously, as you extend where they could finish. But if you want to give yourself some wiggle room, why not send one of these guys a top 3, top 5? You know, you could maybe bet a little bit more that they'll place higher up, but, you know, throw a couple bones on them actually winning the whole thing. So there's different ways to play the Masters, but what makes it easier to bet on, like I said, is that history, is that awareness that you can have. Okay, you're not blindly going into this tournament. Like, you know how they're going to play, or you should have an idea of how they're going to play because of past history. You have some baseline for how to bet this tournament, as opposed to others where you don't know how they're going to fare on that course. You just don't know. But Augusta, they play it every year. You have a little bit more of a baseline, a foundation, if you will, for your bets. Okay, so I say we go 3 winners.
Okay.
3 top, I want to say top, let's go top 10. 3 top 10. And then maybe some fun little props.
Okay.
All right, so give me your top, let's go top winners first.
Top winners. Okay.
Give me your top 3 guys who you think could win this thing.
All right. Number 1, Scotty. Back to back. Scotty's definitely going to be my number 1.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to put a little money on Scotty Scheffler. He
yeah,
is the man.
It's tough. Do we want to do opposite Scotty? Do we want to do aside from Scotty our top 3?
No, because I think
I mean, it's the chances of him going back to back is so high.
it's still plus. I mean, it's still plus 700. It's not like it's out of the. It's not like you're getting bad odds. I mean, it's not great, and it is hard to win a golf tournament, and it's even harder to win at Augusta. But
That's fair.
I mean, you throw 10 on plus 700, you're winning 70. It's not like you're getting. It's not like you're getting, minus odds, right? It's still plus 700.
I think I'm gonna go Scotty, Spieth.
Spieth is plus 1,700, and that is a nice play. He has a history at Augusta. He is a nice play.
I'm gonna go Scotty, Spieth. I I think I'm gonna roll with the Morikawa thoughts.
Okay.
There's something about it. I don't know. There's something about it. I wanted to say Rahm or Cam Smith, but I think I'm gonna throw Morikawa in there. So Scotty Spieth and Morikawa are my
Yes, Morikawa
3.
just additionally hitting 71% of his greens in regulation this season. So he's definitely playing, he's playing good golf, or at least the golf required to be successful at Augusta.
There's discussions of has John Rahm already peaked this year?
That's tough. He's plus 950. I'm not going to look. I like John Rahm. He's grown on me a lot, but I don't know. I just can't trust him right now. He had a break, I believe, this season, and then came back and hasn't looked great. So I'm just not going to go with him. I am going to ride with you on Morikawa. He is one of my guys. I'm skeptical of putting money on Cam Smith just because he is a live golfer, and I don't know how they're going to fare, coming back to this kind of competition. But he's really good, and I feel like you're getting some value there at plus 2,800. So I'm going to go with Cam Smith, Morikawa, and then my boy, a little bit longer odds, but Will Zalatoris plus 4,400. His putting is atrocious.
For that reason, I can never trust that man.
But 69% of greens regulation this season.
I know he's really good, dude, but you lose the game on the green. How do you putt? How do you train as a professional? No, I'm like no. I know I'm kind of attacking, but no slander to him. But how, as a professional with trainers and everything that you are, putt like that?
I don't know. And for those of you who have not seen him putt, there's definitely videos out there. Look up Will Zalatoris putting stroke. It is one of the most confusing strokes I've ever seen. I'm not the best putter, but my putter does not perform a juke move in its backstroke. That's what his does. It's like Barry Sanders took control of his golf club, like a mini Barry Sanders, and did a juke move on it, because it doesn't make sense how his putter moves like that.
You could argue that cost him against Matt Fitzpatrick in the U.S. Open.
It 100% did. It 100% did, but he's probably my favorite golfer.
Really?
Yeah, I love Will Zalatoris.
Do you know who my favorite golfer is? You won't expect it because he's not a top guy. He's known for second and third place finishes in his past, but he's never won a major. He is a tailor-made.
Ricky?
No, he is a tailor-made though, man. And he's not from the U.S.
I have no idea.
He's from Britain. He's got some
Tommy Fleetwood.
Yes,
Tommy Fleetwood. All right.
I like Tommy Fleetwood.
Well, Tommy
Something
Fleetwood
about
is plus 6,000.
I know.
Not getting a lot of love.
I know. He's known for second and third place finishes. It's unfortunate, but I love that man. Something about him.
No, he's great. He is great, and he's such a good guy too.
Yeah, exactly.
But
if we're talking those top guys, I probably have to ride with as a guy just like I really like you. My top 3 would probably be Spieth, Morikawa, and Homa.
Right. No, that's
just like guys I straight up like.
No, but Will Zalatoris finished 3 under last year at the Masters. I like his chances just because I like him, but
oh man, that's stress.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. He if his putting is on, if he can control it for 4 rounds, he's got a really good shot.
Absolutely,
he's got a really good shot. But
yeah, I'm not denying he's an incredible golfer.
It has to be on. Like his putting has to be on for 4 days. That's a lot to ask, but
a pro golfer.
Yes, unfortunately. All right, so let's talk about finishing positions here. So we said top 10, right?
Yeah.
So
you want 3 top 10.
Top 10. Obviously, you extend the pool of players that can win this. Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler minus odds, minus 135. We're not going to give you those players because you're just not getting the same kind of love. But if you want to talk about ultimate competitors, I think this is a layup. Jordan Spieth at plus 160. I know he's one of your guys that you think can win, but
I don't disagree with that.
It feels like he's always in the mix somewhat. And plus 160, I know it's not fantastic odds, but you know what it is? It's money. If you're making money, if you feel like Spieth is going to be in the mix on Sunday at Augusta, why not? Right? I mean, You don't have to throw a ton down, but at plus 160, I like Spieth's chances to finish top 10.
That's that one of your three?
Yeah, that's one of my three for sure. Another one that I kind of like, and this one might be a little, I don't think it's probably not getting a ton of action, but Corey Connors. He just won at the Valero Texas Open, literally just this past weekend. He won it all. So he's got some good form coming into Augusta. I think there's a real shot that Corey Connors can finish top 10. You know, I like to see guys that have been golfing well, that are in a good rhythm, in a good mindset. Corey Connors plus 260, a little bit longer odds, but to finish top 10, I think Corey Connors is a nice bet. And then my last guy that I think could really make a splash here, I'm going to do it. Tiger Woods plus 700. I'm not saying he wins it, but
I know.
At plus 700, why not throw a couple bucks on that? You get him top 10. He's placed top 10 in 14 of the 23 Masters he's played in. So he's greater than 50%. I mean, I'm no math major. I think that's over 60% of the major or the Masters he's been in. He's finished top 10. So I like those odds. I know it's not prime Tiger. I know he can barely walk a full 18, but you know what? If he can play 4 rounds of golf at Augusta, if he can make the cut, why can't he be in the mix on Sunday and finish top 10? Why can't he be?
You're not wrong.
Tiger Woods plus 700. Throw a couple bucks on it. Why not? Have some fun. It's the Masters. Have a little fun. You know, you're not going to hit on all these bets, but if you can hit on a couple with the odds that FanDuel, DraftKings, wherever you get your, wherever you place your bets, wherever you get your odds, you're going to have a decent shot to make your money back regardless because of, the longer odds that you're betting on.
You hit me with the Spieth in your top 10. You know what I'll do back to you? Zalatoris. A top 10 finish.
Will Zalatoris plus 290 to finish top 10. Plus 290.
I'm going to throw Zalatoris out there.
All right, I like that.
Another one. If he's playing right, he can lock up top 5 consistently, in my opinion, and that's Patrick Cantlay.
Cantley's a good golfer. He's a good golfer. He's plus 155. The 4th best odds to finish in the top 10, and I think he's top 5 in terms of winning this whole thing. I
know. I don't disagree with that. I think he definitely could. I think he could win this thing, straight up. He hasn't been playing well. I'm looking at these names, and I'm like, who do I trust? I kept thinking about it yesterday and today, and I don't believe it in myself anymore at this time. Because I'll be honest with you, I thought about Brooks Koepka, but not anymore. I'm not thinking about him. I know it's a stretch. He's been playing really good golf for LIV, but like you said, not that he can't. This is still a different competition.
It's
and
tough.
He's too chill of a guy. That's why he loves LIV, because he's like, he doesn't care about golf. He's just pretty good at it, and he just does it. Like, I don't know what kind of mentality that is.
No, that's what makes it hard, because like you said, I'm right there with you when it comes to picking these LIV golfers, because the competition is different. The level of kind of the adrenaline, the level of adrenaline in these LIV golf tournaments has to be lower, right? There is so much more at stake in these PGA competitions. In the LIV competitions, they're already paid. Like, they already got their money. Like, obviously, it helps to win them, and you probably want to win, but your incentive to win in the PGA Tour is so much greater that it's hard to back these LIV guys who haven't been playing in this style of competition for a little bit now. And obviously it hasn't totally evaded them. And at the end of the day, it's just golf, right? You're really just playing yourself. But I do think there's something to be said about coming back from the LIV Tour. I do have some apprehension towards playing a LIV golfer. And with Cam Smith even, I'm like, I don't know, but...
Especially this tournament.
Right. But Cam Smith is so good. I think he's the best golfer in LIV. And so I'm going to trust his skills more so than his business decision, which was unfortunately to go to live.
That's fair. So I gave you Zalatoris. I gave you Patrick Cantley. I was looking. Started looking a little lower. This may be interesting. He's always a good golfer. He seems to have often some bad breaks, but don't sleep on Victor Hovland sneaking in the top 10.
I am not going to hate on you for that. Victor Hovland, Oklahoma State product. He is a phenomenal young golfer. I believe he had a pretty good Masters last year. Let me double check, but
he's always around. He's always around. He always seems to be at least a top 15.
Okay, he wasn't too hot last year at the Masters, +4. But Augusta played tough last year. Not a ton of low scores. I mean, when Scotty Scheffler when he wins it by 3 strokes at 10 under, a lot of other guys kind of struggled at Augusta. But no, Victor Hovland, super talented golfer. He's young. Why can't he put it together for 4 days and finish top 10?
I think he can.
What's his odds at right now? +280. So he's right there with Zalatoris at +290. I mean, really not a bad play. So you're going with top 10 finishes. You got Zalatoris, Hovland,
and Cantley.
Okay, so Cantley at +155. Hovland at +280, and then Zalatoris at +290. In my top 10, I got Tiger Woods at +700.
I would not be mad at that, man.
And then
no one's mad seeing Tiger play well.
I know.
No person in existence.
And then
except for Greg Norman.
Yes. And then I got Corey Connors at +260, and then Jordan Spieth at +160.
I saw a lot of talk about Shane Lowry as a sleeper in the Masters. He's a very up and down player, but he's not bad at all. But I saw some talk about it the other day. I was like, interesting. I don't know how he'll play fairly, but he's normally a decent golfer.
Shane Lowry's solid, but
he's not enough. He's not
exciting.
Yeah, I know. He's just
like
like
one of those guys that if he wins it, fine. But I'm not like banging the drum to bet on the man. He's a good golfer though. I'm not going to discredit him. All right, and then so we got our winners.
What are some props?
We got our top 10. How about some props though? I mean, why not? Top Irish player. That's
Shane Lowry.
You can literally bet on that. Rory McIlroy is -310, but Shane Lowry +460. So if you think Shane Lowry could finish above
guys.
Rory, +460, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so top U.S. player. This one, it gets a little tricky. And this one, actually, some great odds because Scotty Scheffler +850, right? So if he wins it, if you bet on him at +700, and then for him to be the top U.S. player at +850, that's obviously a bang bang. But how about some of these other odds? Justin Thomas +1400, Jordan Spieth +1400, Patrick Cantlay +1600. Get even a little lower. How about like a guy like Bryson DeChambeau +3300, Tom Hoagie +4100.
Tom Hoagie's a sleeper, man.
He is a sleeper. Taylor Gooch +4100. So there's a lot. He's a really good golfer too. Phil Mickelson, lefty +5,000.
Dude, what are the odds on Hideki Matsuyama
to win it?
Just in general, like on different things. Wherever you're at right now, what's his odds?
So in terms of the top Asian player, he is second at +195, and then I don't want to mispronounce
because Tom Kim's number one, right?
Sun Jae Im is +175 in terms of the top Asian player. Tom Kim is +500.
Okay. Interesting.
So those are some fun odds. Top English player, a battle between Fitzpatrick and Fleetwood. Fitzpatrick +230, Fleetwood +310.
I love my boy Tommy, but Matt Fitzpatrick knows how to play very well. I think they're both kind of even right now in the way they've been playing.
And then there's top senior player, so that's Phil Mickelson, Bernhard Langer, Fred Couples, That one's kind of boring. You can actually bet on the top left-handed player. So that is between Brian Harmon, Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson, and Mike Weir.
I'd hope Bubba Watson won that one.
You would hope so, right? But some other fun ones. There's hole specials, obviously. So you can bet on a player to hit a hole-in-one. You can bet on a hole-in-one in a specific round if you'd like. There's also Tiger props. So you can bet on Tiger to be bogey-free in the tournament, or for him to have a bogey-free round in the tournament at plus 380. Kind of crazy, right? To not have one
I don't
bogey.
think that's going to happen.
That's a tough one. There is to finish in the top 10, including ties, at plus 500. So I think if they finish top 10 outright, I guess that would differentiate from just finishing top 10 overall. So that one's interesting. And then this one is kind of, I'm going to compare this to the Nerfy in baseball, the no-run first inning. This is for Tiger to make birdie or better on his first hole of the tournament at plus 500. So literally, Thursday, the first hole, Tiger to make a birdie.
I wonder what the first hole is. Probably a par 4.
It is a par 4 at plus 500.
3 shots. I think he pars it.
That one's interesting, right? Because that's
I
like
think-
right out of the gate. You either win it or you don't, plus 500.
I think he gets
Kind
a
of
par.
decent odds, though.
Yeah, I think he pars it, but that is an interesting odd. What are the odds for him to do the roar?
There are none. There are none.
He should, because he's Tiger.
But there is. This one is crazy. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Wire-to-wire winner, meaning he led at the end of round 1 all the way to round 4.
Wow.
Plus 27,000.
Scotty Scheffler.
So if Tiger Woods, you bet $1 on him to be the wire-to-wire winner. It's not going to happen, but $1 wins you $270. I mean, that's just a crazy bet, right? Don't bet it. Don't bet it. I'm just saying.
Why not bet it? It's $1.
Yeah, you could throw a buck on it. You could
Yeah.
even throw 50 cents and win, what, 135?
Yeah.
But no, that's just a crazy bet. I mean, there's really some insane bets that you can place here. That's what makes betting the Masters so much fun, though. That's what makes betting golf so much fun. Is the odds are nuts, like they're nuts.
And every day they change by the second, by the hour, by the moment, by the putt,
Literally.
by the missed putt, by the juke of the putt, Mr. Z.
But for one prop, I'm going to go with. Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke on the U.S. winners. That the first one I was mentioning was for round 1.
Okay.
So if you like somebody to get off to a hot start, there you have it. For top U.S. players, Sky Scheffler plus 350, and then the list goes on. Patrick Cantlay, Spieth, etc. But yeah, definitely not as lucrative as I made it seem to be. That was just for round 1. Top U.S. player overall, that's where you get, you get your different odds. But I'm going to play Shane Lowry, top Irish player. I'm going to do it. It's plus 460. If Rory has,
as a Rory fan,
look, Rory can easily get this done. He could win the whole thing. But you know what? If Rory struggles, the next guy up is going to be Shane Lowry. So I'm basically betting Rory versus Shane Lowry, and Shane Lowry is a fine golfer.
he's more consistent, but Rory's better.
Exactly. But if Rory has a bad Masters, right, he wasn't doing well at the Masters last year until round 4. He had 73, 73, 71. So he was plus 1, I believe. And then he had a round of 64 in the final round on Sunday, and he got down to minus 7. So Shane Lowry plus 460, top Irish player. What say you? What say you? That's fun odds, and it's basically a 1v1.
I love that. Shane Lowry, bringing the boys home.
Do you got a prop bet that you want to play maybe?
Give me the top Asian player. Give me the top Asian player and give me Hideki, man.
So do you want Hideki or the top Asian player?
But wouldn't that be him as the top 8?
The top Asian player is Sun Jae Im at plus 175. Hideki is second at plus 195. So you just want to ride Hideki?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm riding Hideki. Yeah. You got the Irish. I got the Asian.
Yes. Top Irish player and top Asian player. Both great players, too. I mean, Hideki Matsuyama, a Masters champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal and means a lot to the game of golf in Japan as well. Like, he's a phenomenal golfer. Absolutely. All right, man. Well, what a fun week it should be. I mean, this is the Masters. This is really the granddaddy of golf.
Absolutely, and it's crazy because it's the real start to the golf season. Is the granddaddy of them all.
It's crazy, and that's what makes it so much fun. But
rip off these bets, man.
Let me rip them off. So you got Scotty Scheffler right at plus 700, right? Just double checking, and then Jordan Spieth at plus 1,700, and then a little bit of a longer shot was. Would you have Colin Morikawa, right, at plus 2,800?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then I was on Cam Smith at plus 2,800, Colin Morikawa at plus 2,800, and then Will Zalatoris at plus 4,400. So those are my winners and Justin's winners. Top 10, Justin's got Patrick Cantlay at plus 155, Victor Hovland at plus 280, and then Will Zalatoris at plus 290. In my top 10, I got Jordan Spieth at plus 160, Corey Connors at plus 260, and Tiger Woods, the man, the GOAT, at plus 700. And then, so both of our props here, the top player in their respective region. I have the top Irish player, Shane Lowry, plus 460, and Justin has Hideki Matsuyama, the top Asian player, at plus 195. Don't go crazy betting on the Masters. I'm saying that in terms of how much you're actually putting on these bets. Have some fun with it, but don't go overboard. Enjoy it. It's golf. The kickoff to summer, really, in some ways. And just enjoy this weekend. It's going to be magical, like always.
Absolutely. Well, it was a fun one. Maybe we'll see how the summer goes. Maybe we'll pop up another golf stream around the June or July time, because it'll be a fun one. Randomly doing the I know this is crazy, but picking out the celebrity pro-am in Lake Tahoe in July. When Curry, Charles Barkley, and all those guys are out there.
Yes.
Charles Barkley plus 300,000 odds to win it all.
Basically. Oh my gosh, Charles is just not.
His swing is getting better, but it's not it still.
No, it is not it at all.
Oh. But thank you guys. It was another fun one, a little special side quest of a week for us with the Masters. We both love golf, so it was a fun one to do. Many things coming. It'll be a little bit of a transition week next week. We'll see what happens there. But the next 2 weeks after that, we got some big events coming. The draft is nearly upon us.
Yes, that cannot come soon enough. We're going to have live mock draft. It's going to be unreal. Should be very contentious. Should be heated a little bit. Might get a little crazy. There might be some things thrown. Punches, maybe. I don't know, but it's going to be electric.
This place might burn down.
It might burn down. We'll have a special guest on.
Yes.
It's going to be insane, and I cannot wait. It should be a must-watch, must-see TV. It's going to be so much fun. UConn champions, Masters this weekend, draft right around the corner. What a great April it's going to be, and what a phenomenal time of the year for sports. It does not get better than this, and the NBA playoffs, they're right around the corner as well. So we really got the spring solstice of sports coming to a climax here. It's going to be epic.
Big things coming for the juice. As always, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the above. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Turn on those post notifications. Give us some comments. If you like golf, let us know. If you don't, check out the other episodes.
Yeah, why not? Listen back to hearing me talk about UConn going to win it all so that next March Madness, maybe you'll listen to me.
Have faith in the man and his plan. But thank you guys for another episode, and we will see you next week on Squeeze the Juice.
Peace.
Peace.